Got You from Sharing Your Journey Media. I took some time off. I needed time to heal. I lost my sister and my father like back to back. So had to take time, relax, and heal from that. And I'm better now, or sort of. But I'm here now. I'm here with my homie, Mr. Ted Taitt. I want to thank you for inviting me into your beautiful home and studio.
You're welcome. You're always welcome here. You know that.
Yeah, that's what you say now on camera, but we don't even get along like that. But anyway, it's been what, 2 years or 3 years since your surgery?
It's been just under 2 years.
Just under 2 years. I remember me and my husband was here, and you told us that you had to undergo surgery. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking it was something minor, like you broke your pinky or to get your height up somehow or something like that. But you told me you had a tumor, and I'm like, oh snap. I ain't say oh snap, I said the other word. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, what in the world? And it hit home because, like I said, we grew up together. You're my homie, and it just hit home when somebody tells you something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, whoa, like your whole world stopped for a minute. But I'm sure yours crashed. It didn't just stop, it crashed, because that's something hard to take in. So I know you said you went to the doctors, mm-hmm. and you were just going for a regular checkup?
Regular physical, because we're getting a little bit up there in the age.
No, you're getting up there because you just turned 50. Happy
said
birthday.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. But you just, like you said, we grew up together. So anyway, as we're getting older, we got to make sure to take care of ourselves. So I was just going in for a routine physical. I do that every year. And this year was just a little bit different.
Okay.
So you want to know the whole story?
Well, you say you would, you went in for a normal checkup. So did they tell you that day, or you had to?
Nah.
You got a call.
Yes. So what happened during the blood work for the physical? Everything was normal except for one thing. It was a hormone in my blood that shouldn't have been there. Mm-hmm. So my doctor, just being thorough, was like, "Hey, it's probably nothing, but let's just make sure it's nothing." So she sent me in to get an MRI because she thought it was something with my pituitary gland. Might have had something growing on it, which causing hormones to start bugging out. And that MRI is what changed it all.
Okay. So that's when they told you you had a tumor. And yes. It was, say it, because I was saying it wrong.
Well, at that point, they didn't know what it was.
Okay.
It was just something. They were like, the pituitary gland is clean. But hey, there's something going on over there.
Wow.
And you could see it after my doctor called me. I didn't believe it. Mm-hmm. I had no symptoms of anything. And I remembered I could go online and check my MRI results. And I went and looked at the scan. I was like, oh, snap.
Okay.
I didn't use that word.
I'm sure.
There was something there.
And you can actually see it in the MRI?
Yep. It was something. It was a white mass. They couldn't really tell the size. So the doctor sent me to a neurosurgeon right away, and they did a 3D scan so you could really see what's going on. And they were like, from the first MRI, it could be the size of a lime, could be the size of a lemon. Mm-hmm. After the 3D scan, he was like, yo, that's the size of a lemon.
Okay, and how did you feel? Like, how did that make you feel?
I mean, I was in disbelief because, to see the size of the tumor and not have any kind of side effects, I was like, yo, this is crazy.
Let's say the name of the tumor, meningioma. I'm saying it wrong, so what is it?
You close. It was a benign meningioma.
Which is, they say, well, I learned when I did my research, that's one of the tumors you would like to have, because sometimes it's a benign, non-cancerous, right? Mm-hmm. Am I right? Okay, and Correct. That's the only time they do surgery when it's big. Not big, because they grow. They can really grow mm-hmm. for years and you not know. Mm-hmm. But it has to put pressure on your brain and the cells and all that good stuff in there. I learned. Okay, so yeah, right. So that's why you had to get the surgery.
Yes. So, how can I put it? There's no tumor that's good to have, so let's start there.
Yeah, I know right? that, but they say this right here is more. It's an easier one to deal with. That one. Yeah, there you go.
Right. I looked at my neurosurgeon like he was crazy when he said it. He said, you got the tumor to have.
Okay.
Because the location and the type it was. Uh-huh. He feels like, we'll just open you up, take it out, patch you up and you'll be good as new. And I'm looking at him like,
that easy.
yo, my man, I never had surgery before, and the first one's gonna be a brain surgery. You just gonna pay it. I was like, okay, first of all, you said it's slow growing, right? He was like, yeah. I said, okay, because we were just coming out of COVID. I had a family trip planned. My wife, she won't like me to say this, but she was turning 50 at the time. So it was like we had all of these things to do. And I was like, can I wait until the fall? Because this was in June. And my man was like, you right. He says, yeah, we could wait till the fall, but don't wait too much further than that. Because you don't want to start having symptoms. So that's what happened.
Okay, now I know with the tumor, meningioma, I know I'm still saying it wrong, it can also grow on your spine.
It could grow anywhere.
Yeah. But what stood out to me was spine. And I'm like, wow.
It can grow anywhere. I was lucky in a sense, right, that the way, because it can grow anywhere in the brain, right? So I was lucky in the sense that my tumor was on the brain, right? It was on the brain, between the brain and the skull, right? So that's why you didn't see nothing. Shut up about calling me big head. You couldn't see nothing, but what it was doing was, as it was growing, it was pushing on my brain.
Okay.
So like the brain has two hemispheres with a clear area in between. My right side was starting to get pushed over to the left. So, it grows real slow, but was maybe a year or two out from starting to have symptoms.
So do they know how long it's been growing for about?
Can't tell. But to get to that size, it's probably been about 15, 20 years.
Yeah, because I know they say 9 years or more.
Yeah.
And I also know, like, did you have any signs? Because I know some of the signs that I've learned, headaches, bad headaches. You can lose your hearing at times.
I'm an audio engineer. Like, my hearing has been spot on.
And the sense of smell.
I can still smell.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying before.
Right. Before that, no, I didn't have any of those symptoms. Some of the things that could be attributed to the tumor, I kind of chalked up to getting older. So, like, vision-wise, I started to need readers, but
and they did say vision. You're right.
But everybody in my age group needed readers. I was the last one, so I'm like, all right, I guess I'm getting older. That was probably the only thing.
So you don't need glasses no more at all?
Well, I never needed glasses. It was just readers, and I still
same thing.
It's the
same thing, but okay.
I still kind of need readers.
Okay. Say glasses.
Nah, readers.
Glasses.
Readers.
This is why.
Readers.
All right. How long was your surgery, Mr. Taitt?
Surgery was 11 hours.
But it was supposed to be?
It was supposed to be 4 to 6 hours.
So why did it take so long?
Because even though they could see a lot of things with the 3D scans, it ended up being a little bit bigger than he expected. So he wanted to make sure to get everything out, so there'll be no question about anything in the future. It took 11 hours.
11 hours.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, when you woke up, you woke up in ICU, of course. How was your recovery? Like, what was your thoughts? Did you have to learn how to walk again and talk? Like, were you fine?
So it was a blessing, honestly, because what they were expecting my recovery to look like, it ain't look nothing like that. So when I came to, I wasn't even in pain. So they had me, ready for all kinds of pain meds. I think the whole time I was in the hospital, I took 1 aspirin.
Wow.
And that was it. And that was more for the stitches. I didn't have any pain. And then again, I was on a lot of medications too, but nothing for pain.
So that's a blessing.
Yeah,
that's great.
It was a true blessing. When I was coming to, they had the rehab people coming in right away and asking questions, trying to figure out what it looks like when I go home. So they're asking questions like, do you have stairs in the house? They were talking to my wife. And then asking the number of stairs in the house. And she was like, I was like 13.
So you was
So I was, I was there, but I wasn't fully out of anesthesia. So when she heard me say that, and then she was like, oh, he's right. And she was like, then she felt a little bit more comfortable.
Better,
like,
because
okay,
she know you was
this
in your right state
is,
of mind.
yeah.
He's back. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Now, like, how do you look at life now? Because I know you say you have a different look at life now. Outlook at life.
So the fact that I could go through brain surgery on a Tuesday and be home Friday afternoon.
So you came home a couple of days
I was
later.
home like 2.5 days later, right? Walking through my door, right? So it wasn't my time, right? It definitely wasn't my time. So I make it a point to make the most out of every day. Do something for at least 10, 15 minutes every day that's just for me to enjoy. Like this whole surgery and healing process just gave me perspective. I don't have time for the nonsense now. It's like, if it's not adding to my life or my family's life,
that's it. You don't have to,
I don't got time for it. Because time is limited.
Yes, it is. And my question is, what are you working on now? I know you
because
making big moves.
Because I don't have time to waste. I pretty much started just jumping into everything that I said I was gonna do or thought about doing. I just executed, right? Even things like around the house, like new windows, boom, going solar, whole house generator, like all the things that we talked about, I just started knocking out because I don't want to have these things in the back of my mind, right? So I reinvested in the studio, got rid of old equipment, jumped on new technology to really start pushing the music again. 9 to 5. I'm now COO of a company, a beauty company, manufacturing company.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can I get a job?
Yeah, if you want. Yeah, we're gonna need some PR work. So
let me know when you're ready.
All right. Yeah, and I still have my engineering firm as well. So, I'm conscious of not working too hard, but definitely when I sleep at night, I've earned that sleep.
That's
what I mean?
Okay, now how can I say a question? Something I would like for you to say to the camera, someone who's going through what you went through. You have some words for them? Because maybe your journey can uplift somebody else that's going to go through the same thing. That's the purpose of this interview.
No, I get it. If there's the one thing I would say is for all men and people, women, everybody, but especially men, dog, get that physical every year, because if you don't know a baseline, you don't really know how you're changing each year. So you got to get that physical, and if there's nothing coming back abnormal, beautiful. But if there is anything, even the slightest thing, you got to see it through, because if I would have ignored this little hormone that shouldn't have been in my, most people that find out about meningiomas find out when it's too late. So they'll be standing there and all of a sudden, boom, they lose their sight. That's how most people find out. Or they have seizures.
Bad headaches.
Well, bad headaches is a symptom, but like when it's too late,
you'll know.
Right. Right. So, it was a blessing for me to find it when I did, because at that point I was the youngest I was ever going to be. Other than that, I was healthy. So I just attacked it and just focused on healing. So a year and a half later, I still consider myself in healing because, I still got, I'm just now starting to feel my scalp again. It's been a year and a half.
Let me see. You gotta show it. You gonna show it to the camera. The scar.
I don't know if you can
it's
really
from
see
here going all the way to there.
All the way around.
And your hair just actually just growing in from it, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay.
I'll share some pictures, of what it started off looking like. So before and afters, but yeah, I'm feeling my scalp when I brush my hair now. So that's like progress.
Yeah.
A year and a half.
Okay.
So I'm still in healing.
That's good. It's a blessing.
It is.
And I'm happy we was able to sit down and finally talk about your journey. And we're going to invite your wife and your kids in.
Okay. Because I'm sure they got some things to get off of their chest about it.
Yes.
Because we've been keeping it on a
Moving,
higher
just moving.
frequency,
Yeah, of course.
you know, and just healing. But it'll be interesting to see some of the thoughts they didn't want to share with me personally. So,
Okay.
yeah.
We're about to invite them in.
All right. Well, I thank you for giving me this platform to promote self-help,
Yep.
self-care.
And thanks for
And
inviting me and
physicals.
allowing me to talk to you and all that good stuff.
No doubt. If anybody was going to do it, it's going to be you. So.
That's right, Big Shean.
Right.
Okay. So now we're back here with the wifey, Miss Elaine Tate. You say hello to the viewers.
Hello. Hey, Shawnee.
Hi. Well, I really don't be wanting to talk to you right now because you're a teacher. So, you know, you're going to be off all summer and the kids is with me. So
Oh, don't be
this
jealous.
probably is
Don't
going to be
be
our last
jealous.
conversation until September. Yeah, I tell you that every year.
No, then you call me after the 4th of July and you go, oh, it's almost time
So-
to go back.
But it's true.
It's not.
It is. All right. So I want to thank you and your husband again for allowing me to come into your home to sit and talk with you. My question to you, when you found out what was going on with Ted, with the tumor, what was going on through your mind? Because I know you're more emotional than me.
I'm very emotional.
Yes, you are.
So initially I think I was in disbelief.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't believe, like, it hits home.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. Go ahead.
But he's strong. We have faith.
Mm-hmm.
And we just had to sit and pray, and
And I know you were nervous
I was a mess.
and scared.
Especially he said, don't tell anybody. And that's hard.
It's hard because you need somebody that you can vent to and then get this out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
So, oh my God, I can't believe this is like therapy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so I needed my support, and it was hard because he didn't want to tell anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I had to. So, I think one of the things that made me reach out to somebody was because we had an issue with our insurance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think he said anything, but and my sister works for like billing and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I went to my sister.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to her, and she was very good at being, supportive.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a girlfriend that I work with, and her mother went through it.
Okay. The same type of tumor?
Not the same type,
Mm-hmm.
but she had a brain tumor. Went
Okay.
to the same hospital.
Okay.
She assured me that everything would be okay. Her mother came through it fine, and so that was a little comforting. But still, so you keep watching him, seeing if there's any changes. And he was good. There were like no symptoms. But yeah, it was. I was a nervous wreck. I'm a worrier.
Yeah.
That's what I am.
Yes. So when the day of the surgery, I know we spoke a couple of times, and you was calm. I was impressed. You were so calm because I would have been. I just know me. You were calm, and you was like, "Hey, Shawnee, just to let you know, the surgery is going a little longer." And you was so calm. How were you really that day?
A mess.
Okay.
I think it started off like in the morning because it was during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
You could just drop them off, and that was it. And you had to leave. So when I got home, Ted and the doctor called me to like just kind of go through everything all over again. Said it was going to be like 4 to 6 hours or whatever. And so I was here. My sister came. One of my girlfriends came. We went out for breakfast.
I remember that. Yep.
And they were calling me like every hour to let me know things were going okay, not to worry. And then the call stopped. And so I was like, Then I call the hospital, and they're like, oh, everything's going well, don't worry, whatever. Another hour goes by. I call again, and they say, no news is good news.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So at that time, you're not trying to hear that though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm like, okay, that's easy for you to say.
Yep.
But if I don't feel comfort in that, like my mind is going to be everywhere.
Everywhere, yep.
So finally about, I would say, and I have to include that my father-in-law was here with me. You know, at times too.
Shout out to Mr. Taitt.
Yay! And finally, a guy from the hospital called me and said, okay, he's done. Everything looks good. And I'm like, it's after hours. Like, I can still come, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, yeah, you can come for a little
That's
while,
good.
whatever.
That's good.
So it was comforting, finally. And then you walk through.
And when you saw him, what, like...
Well, first I have to tell you, walking through the hallway,
Mm-hmm.
I should have never, like, looked into other rooms.
Oh.
That was, like, the worst thing I could have did. And it was like, oh, goodness. How is he going to look? How is he going to act? How is, you know. But I went in there. Definitely didn't look like my Teddy.
Mm-hmm.
He was out of it, you know. Swollen, bandages, the whole nine. And so I just stayed for a little while,
Okay.
you know. And then I left so I can come back early in the morning. And when I came back and he was like talking like himself.
Okay,
you know, a little
good.
slower,
Yeah,
but he knew stuff. Like he mentioned to you before, the occupational therapist came in.
Mhm.
I was like, you know, are there stairs in the house? How many stairs? And I'm like, I don't
You
know.
didn't know? That's not even on your mind right now.
Right.
No?
And so he's like, he mumbles 13. I said, if he says there's 13, there's got to be 13.
Mhm.
I came home.
He was right.
He was right.
Wow.
You know, so, and he was like asking me to take pictures. He wanted to see what he looked like. And like, he was very alert,
That's good.
you know. And I'm going to be honest with you. He said to me, well, I'll be out of here by Friday. I'm thinking, you crazy. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, you just had brain surgery.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I said? Let's put it in the universe. Let me pack a bag.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get him home on Friday. Lo and behold, he's like, I'm coming home.
That's great. Definitely, that's a blessing.
It is. It is. So,
Okay. So was it hard to nurse him back to himself? Because, you know, being a man and he can't really do nothing, how's he used to doing something? Especially with Ted, you know, he's an engineer. They think they know everything and all that stuff. We always say that. Am I right?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So was it hard?
Well, I'm going to tell you, like, okay, so prior to the surgery, you know, we had like a family get together and we talked and we understood that after the surgery it was going to be his healing process. So we all have to pitch in, we all have to do certain things, and he just has to heal.
Okay.
His surgery went so well, he never really lost his independence.
That's good.
Right? The only thing I really had to do was like I would put timers on to make sure that he was taking his medicine at a certain time. But by the time I would go and tell him, he was already
Doing it.
Yeah.
So he was on point.
Yeah, and he would lose his balance,
Okay.
which I was told I would have to watch
Mhm.
anyway. And other than that, he was great.
Okay.
He was great.
Nice. Okay. I'm just proud of you because I know you.
But
Very.
it's still,
I know.
because you know.
Yeah, I
it's
know.
going either way.
I know. So I just want to say I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So you're getting emotional now. So I ain't want to talk to you, but I know I had to talk to you.
You were part of my support system
Of
too. I
course,
appreciate
of course. Well, oh yeah, did you have to take off for work?
it. I did. I took off a month, and the funny thing is he was ready to go back
Oh wow.
before my time was up.
So you probably like, no, your finger hurt or something, right? You ain't want to go back. I know you told him his finger hurt or something. You ain't ready. No, indeed, he was, but
He was, but he didn't go back full time
okay.
because they told him, you know, he couldn't, you know, stress himself. He had to take breaks and all that kind of stuff while he was working.
Mm-hmm.
So he did go back to work. I went back to work after a month, and he like eased into it, his job was very accommodating.
That's good.
Which was great.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Do you want to say anything to my viewers, to someone that might be in your position, that have to nurse their husband back?
Have faith. And even when I had faith, I second guess my faith.
And you're human. That's just what it is. It's not good, but it's human. I'm learning that myself. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my sins, and it's okay. It's not okay, but it's okay.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
But in hindsight, those extra prayers, I think helped.
Yep. Yeah. Well, you did a good job, and I'm proud of you. And I love y'all.
Love you.
All right. Well, we're gonna bring in the little ones, as in my Layla. I call her Laysky, and the little man with his deep voice, Isaiah. All righty. Okay, we're back here with the little Taitts. How are we doing today, my Layla?
Doing pretty good.
And Zay, what's going on with y'all today?
Nothing much. I didn't really have any plans for today because of what was going on today, so I just decided to take it pretty easy today.
Okay, so you're out of school?
Yep.
And you're out of college?
Yeah, I am.
Wow. Great. Finished your first year. High five.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right now. All right, so we're here talking about your dad and the surgery he had to go through. How did y'all feel about that when you first found out he had to go through surgery, or when you found out he had a brain tumor?
Kind of horrified because when I first heard about the tumor, like I was having like a high moment in my life because for the first time in a while I was feeling like extremely happy. Like nothing really bad was going on despite like a lot of work I was going through. I was like, finally something good was happening, and then yeah, but I'm glad that he took announcing it to us in the way that he did, because otherwise it could have been devastating.
How did he tell you? You said he announced it. How did he tell you?
He announced it, but he waited until after we had like a nice vacation together.
That's nice.
Like he waited, and he didn't want to drop this right as soon as the school year started, you know.
He gave us a little bit of buffer time just to kind of like acknowledge what was going on. He trickle-truthed it a little bit, so we didn't really know how bad it was, so we wouldn't like get stuck on it. That did leave a little spot in my mind for it to like fester and like nerves to kind of paint pictures where they did not belong.
Okay.
But overall, the way they approached telling us, it was pretty good.
Now, when you saw him, when you went to the hospital, or were you able to go to the hospital?
We were not able to.
No.
You had to be 18, and I was still 17 at the time, so I got stuck waiting in the waiting room.
Okay, so when he came home and you saw him, like, how did you feel?
I was happy that he was fine, but even waiting was horrifying for me because I still had to go to school, and I texted Mom, how was the surgery going, when it should have started, because there was like bad weather outside, and she didn't contact me until I saw her like later in the day, like several hours
in advance. So you was like worried all day.
Yeah. I even texted her, can you pick me up, when she was home, and she didn't respond, so I had to walk home horrified.
It's not funny, but it's the way you're saying it. Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to, I don't want to be too pessimistic, but it was probably the worst day of my life.
Wow.
Ugh.
Yeah, how about you, Lai?
It was really like nerve-wracking until I got to see him like okay, and even then I was still kind of worried because you never know what happens afterwards. But hearing like how quickly he was on the mend and how well it was going for him, it really did like help soothe my nerves.
That's good. So when he was healing, did you help around the house more?
I guess, like, because I was still running cross country at the time, so I made sure to be clean, to try to be clean every time I was in the house. Take like a shower downstairs before I'd go upstairs to make sure I wouldn't get like bacteria and stuff inside.
That's good. Okay.
But I'd make sure to keep everything like less dusty than it was before, for example. You know.
I do remember taking health precautions because I believe I was working outside the house at the time, but I honestly don't remember too much. It's been a little bit.
Because that was during COVID time, so you had to, because you didn't want him to go back in the hospital with COVID and cause anything.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anything you would like to say to your dad? Let Layla go first.
Oh no, you can let him go first. I'm still thinking.
You go.
You look like an older version of me, and it's a shame. All right, your turn.
No, hey, I'm talking about the surgery too. Like,
come on, man.
Yeah, come on now.
I kind of want to make a joke about his big head, but I'll be kind this time. Love you, Dad. You made some of the years of my life pretty great. and I hope to spend some more time with you and the time we have left together.
Nice. Lit.
I'm thankful that everything went well for my dad. Like, I love him. It was a horrid experience having, like, the chance to go visit him and then being told, oh, you have to be 18 and having to sit there. And know he was close, but not close enough. But I was really happy. I'm always happy to see that video of him up and walking in the hospital, always.
Nice. Well, I want to thank y'all for taking time out your day, because I know you could be somewhere else, and you could be
Probably
somewhere.
wouldn't be.
Oh, you wouldn't be?
Nah.
Oh, okay. Well, I know Layla could be somewhere else, right?
I mean, I have a car, so I could be getting food.
There you go. There you go. So I want to thank you
At
both
best.
for, taking time out to talk to me. And I want to thank my viewers for taking time out to watch the video. And God bless.